so embarrassed. So I have a question for you. What would have been better? To bring him in and feed him and cause him so much embarrassment that he would have felt he was better to die, or to just let him starve a little bit? Let him starve a little bit. At least he wouldn't have been feeling so. What good did you do? You didn't do any good. You did worse to him. Yeah, you gave him bread. You gave him bread. You gave him life. But at the same time, every chew was such an embarrassment. Was such a he felt degraded. It was as if you were spitting on him every time he was chewing the food. You don't see it.
I see it from one perspective. On the other perspective, you have a man who's downtrodden and he's poor. And
Right.
the king has such mercy and then is so benevolent. He invites him, does invite him in and say, okay, eat in the kitchen, with the other bums. But it says, come, you're going to sit at my table,
So
be my guest. And he introduces him and says, this is my friend. So he looks like a bum, but who's going to say that this man's a bum when he's the friend of and the guest of the king?
When he feels that he's the guest of the king, it's a good thing. But if you just take a random guy off the street who doesn't know you, he doesn't know the king, he doesn't know the king, he heard of the king, it's the first time he's ever seen the king, he has no connection to the king.
The king makes the connection. You don't know somebody. You go on the street. You say, "Oh, by the way, you look like you're in trouble. You can use some help. By the way, I'm the king. I can help you. Why don't you come inside? My name is James. I'll make it all okay."
So now
He brings him in. It's not like whatever. He doesn't pop out of nowhere. All of a sudden he's sitting next to the king. And it's like, well,
right.
How did I get here?
So now we're going on already on a different level. So on the first level, it's when the guy is invited to the king and he has no connection. The king brings him in with the rest of the poor guys, and he scatters the poor guys on the table of the king, and eat. I'm giving you a free meal. Be happy with it. In your case, the king created a connection with the person. He created a bond that already subsides the embarrassment. But now, if he didn't have that, let's say he didn't say all that. Let's say he just puts him on the table and says, "Okay, here, I'm giving you full food. What do you want? This is better than the garbage you have outside. Eat it." How would that guy feel?
He just does the king says nothing to him.
Says nothing.
He eats. I mean,
Right, but how does he feel? We should know from such things. But imagine a person needs to ask for tzedakah. How embarrassing is that? People say he would rather die and not have to ask for tzedakah. The person is in such a situation. He has to ask for tzedakah. That's the lowliest thing. The person has to ask for money. He has to go and he say, "Well, listen, I'm in a hard time." And all of a sudden, and every time he's giving the story, he feels like he's, you know what I mean? So it's embarrassing. But the guy's giving the money. Yeah, but until the story comes out, better it would have been the guy that just left the money on the table to take it, and he wouldn't have to say the word.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean? So he would have rather, you said, "Please, if you want to give me the best thing, don't make me tell you the story again. Just put them on the table. Okay, let's go out." So God says, "Okay, you know what?" And then this gets to your example. God says, instead of giving the person embarrassing, I want him to earn it. When he will earn it, he won't feel so bad.
They'll tell him, "No, I'll give you food if you come, you build my fence."
Exactly. And so now he created job opportunity, right? And because he created job opportunity, does the king need this guy to build a fence? He doesn't really need it. He's got his own workers. But what he does is, again, in his mercy, he creates a whole facade. He creates a picture. And says, instead of this guy starving, instead of him, and again, I want to give him good. That's the whole point. The whole point is I want to give him good. If I didn't care about giving him good, and I just wanted him just to be alive, I could just give him food. But the king actually cares. He wants to go out of his way because he cares for this person. So he puts him on the table. But before he puts him on the table, he says, "You can build the fence," and he builds the fence. He says, "Okay, so now you earned this amount of food." So he eats. Now he doesn't feel so bad now because he says, "Okay, I got something from it." This example is the reason we have mitzvot. Mitzvot are our check in the bank. Every time we do a mitzvah, we say, "Oh, we earned it. Well, look, hey, I did five mitzvot. You have to give me now a little bit of parnasah." Again, it doesn't work this way. But at least the person, when he will receive good, he will kiviyachol ki'ilu, as if he earned it. What that does is actually that creates a bond between the king and the person, right? So when that peasant guy is building the fence for the king, What's he doing? He's seeing the king every day. The king comes by. So, oh, king, how are you? How are you doing? Oh, I did quit sleep last night. All of a sudden they're talking. They're having a discussion. Masha'enken, which wasn't when the guy was on the street, and the first time he saw the king, he didn't have a discussion with him. Now that they're having a discussion, even though he's dressed in peasant clothes still, he's already a different level. Now he becomes, like you said, the friend of the king. When he's the friend of the king, it's already a different ball game. So God said like this: yes, it was embarrassing that you sinned, Adam. But the whole reason that you had to sin, was so that there would be a purpose for the world. Because you were embarrassed, you felt that you didn't need anything, you didn't earn anything. So now, because there's a degree of embarrassment, how do you wipe away the embarrassment so that the maximum good can be received? You let him earn it. When he earns it, the giver can give his maximum good, and the receiver can receive the maximum good. And now we have an equilibrium. Now both sides are happy. The giver is happy because he can give his maximum good. The receiver is happy because he's receiving the maximum good. Does this make sense up to here? Seems good? So now we see the whole idea of the malbush. The malbush itself means that God gave us these mitzvot and this opportunity to remove the physicality through learning Torah, Shulchan Aruch, so that we can earn it. So that we can create a relationship with us. Up to here, we're good. So, by creating the relationship with us, what does he do? We're creating a bond of hugging and loving. There was a question actually we forgot to ask in the beginning also, was why do we wear the talit on Erev Yom Kippur? Because the Gemara tells us, the Gemara writes, the mitzvah of tzizit is not found by night. You don't wear tzizit by night. Again, we wear it for a different reason. But the mitzvah of tzizit we don't wear by night. So why all of a sudden are we wearing it on that night? Okay. That's just a question that we're going to answer. So, it says that God sewed together for Adam garments, right? After the sin, they saw that they were naked, right? Again, naked from what? We said naked from mitzvot. He said, now, how can we earn anything now? There's no such thing as called mitzvot. So now we're embarrassed and we're stuck with embarrassment. God says, let me sew you clothing. What clothing? Clothing are livushim, malbush. He's sewing for them a malbushim. He's sewing for them clothing, meaning i.e. mitzvot. He says, now you will have to have mitzvot. Yeah, you need the mitzvot. You need the mitzvot in order to earn God's good. Right? To receive God's goodness, you have to have mitzvot in order to put your check in the bank so that you don't longer feel embarrassed when you're receiving the good. Make sense? So now we see the sequence of events. They sinned. Now that they sinned, they were naked. Since they were naked, they needed to be dressed in clothing. What was the clothing? Mitzvot. Interestingly enough, the talit is also called a malbush. Talit is also called malbush. The malbush that the talit is, the Ariza, the Ariya Kadosh, actually, it's brought down again. Rabbi Tzur says there are big books with little letters. This is where this is found, in one of those big books with little letters. Written very hard to read, but if you're there, you can take it out. And this is what the Rav Chaim Vital writes in the name of his rabbi, the Arizal. The mitzvah of talit reminds us, and it's in the place of the spiritual realm called mother. Right? This is actually very appropriate because we just had the Yitzhak Rachel Imenu, right? It was on Monday. So we're discussing the mother. We know it says by Rachel, V'Rachel bocha al banea. Rachel is crying over her children, and it says that there is a tikva lacharit. There's a hope in the end. There's hope in the end. Your tears will bring something because a mother's love is everlasting. And she loves the child no matter what. She's always loved the child. So much so that the child very rarely understands and gets to the essence of the mother's love. He doesn't really comprehend the mother's love. Because if he did, he wouldn't be able to move. To realize how much the mother loves him. He understands it on some level, and we're about to get into this level now. Now we're going to go very deep. Okay? There are two levels of a child. One level of a child is when he is a fetus. He's a baby. In the mother's womb. When he's in the mother's womb, the mother wraps the child, right? She's inside. He's inside. And he's in a very dark place. There's no light. And the mother already has a connection with the child. From before the child ever comes out, she already feels the child and she already knows the child. Fathers on the other side, they're waiting for the child to grow up, to do something, and then get a connection with you. Yeah, okay, no, he's jumping around this time. What do you want me to do? Well, okay, chazak baruch. The mother is all of a sudden, I came up with a kick. Okay, chazak baruch. I'll kick also. A child goes to the bathroom, all of a sudden, oh, look at the child went to the bathroom. If a grown-up would do that, we'd say something wrong with the grown-up. Yeah, but yet we love these little things about the child. It's a better purity with the child. Now, the child doesn't feel the mother's love. What does the child know? Feed me. That's why he's hooked onto the tube. All he cares about, or she cares about, is to be fed. So the love connection from the perspective of the fetus is what? Selfish. Give me. Feed me. Love, I don't know what the word love means. When does the child begin to comprehend and to feel the word love? Is only when his intelligence, his mind begins to open up and his heart begins to develop. Again, not physically, I'm talking about mentally and emotionally begins to develop. Then he begins to understand, what's the mother and what's the love and what's the word love mean. All of a sudden he's able to appreciate and reciprocate the love. Able to receive the love and give off the love. That's when he's more of a grown-up. But again, in the level when he's a baby, all he does is receive the love. He's no shaykhut, no connection to giving the love. What love does he give? He makes. He doesn't. What kind of love is that? All he cares about is all his selfish needs. So the Chazal tell us these are the two levels of Am Yisrael. There are some times when we are on the level of the fetus. We just receive. We have no connection to who's giving us, what's giving us. We just want. But then there are some times where our intelligence is higher, where our heart feels more, and we're able to receive Hashem's love and know that it's Him, and then we're able to also reciprocate, do more for Him. So these two levels are the level of Talit. There's something called Talit Gadol and Talit Katan. Now hopefully it'll start making sense. The Talit Katan, where do you wear it? Underneath your clothing. Because the Talit Katan represents the internal love that a mother has for her child when he's a fetus. When he's a fetus, who feels the love? Only the mother. The fetus doesn't feel anything, doesn't reciprocate, doesn't give off anything. Only takes it what it wants. So where's the love? The love is hidden. The love is only one side. And again, we always look from the perspective of the child. What does the child receive? That's us. We're the child down here. When we're on the level of baby, we don't really have any connection to the love. That's why we wear that small talit, called talit katana, tzizit, we call it. Talit, tzizit. But when we wear the big talit, who are we? What are we? We're at the level of big child. We're a grown-up. We're able to perceive. That's why it's a bigger talit. It wraps the entire head and the goof.